The Green Bay Packers have made a bold statement with their latest draft, opting for just 6 picks, the smallest class during Brian Gutekunst's tenure as general manager. This decision sends ripples through the roster and raises eyebrows among the fan base. What does this mean for the future of key players and the overall strategy of the team? Let's dive into the implications of this lean draft class and assess its impact on the roster. First off, the glaring absence of wide receivers or any pass catchers in this draft is hard to ignore. Yes, the Packers extended Jayden Reed just last Friday, but the clock is ticking for Christian Watson, who is entering the final year of his contract after a short-term extension last year. Securing a new deal for Watson is crucial. He's a burgeoning star whose potential could greatly influence the receiving core. Meanwhile, tight end Tucker Kraft has also emerged as a priority for the front office, showcasing the need for stability in the passing game. However, the situation is murkier for defensive tackle Devonte Wyatt. With the signing of veteran Javon Hargrave to a 2-year deal and the selection of Chris McClellan in the 3rd round, Wyatt's future seems uncertain. He's currently on his 5th-year option, and while extending his contract could ease his cap hit, his age, 28, and the fact that he hasn't fully developed into a complete interior defensive lineman raises questions about his value. The Packers must weigh the benefits of keeping Wyatt against the potential of a more dynamic option in McClellan. On the offensive front, the Packers did make one addition in this draft, Jager Burton, a center/guard hybrid. But let's be real, this isn't the splashy move fans might have hoped for. While it's no surprise that Green Bay focused on strengthening the offensive line, Burton's lack of tackle experience since high school is concerning. The decision not to re-sign Rasheed Walker, who inked a modest deal with the Carolina Panthers, speaks volumes about the front office's confidence in Jordan Morgan to anchor the left tackle position. If that doesn't pan out, the Packers will be looking at Darian Kinnard or shifting Anthony Belton back to tackle, neither of which inspires confidence. The offseason has seen the Packers make some significant moves, including signing Javon Hargrave, Benjamin St-Juste, and Sky Moore in free agency, as well as trading for Zaire Franklin. With 6 draft picks and a few undrafted signings, it feels like the big moves are behind us. Brian Gutekunst has made it clear that he prefers a consistent process over chasing fleeting windows of opportunity. So, unless something extraordinary unfolds, akin to Micah Parsons last year, Packers fans can expect only minor adjustments to the roster as the regular season approaches. Now, I want to hear from you, Packers Nation. Where are you watching from, and what are your thoughts on this draft class? Are you satisfied with the direction the team is taking, or do you have your reservations? Let's keep this conversation going as we transition into our next topic. The Green Bay Packers had a busy 3rd day during the 2026 NFL Draft, making 4 key selections that have fans buzzing about the new possibilities for this upcoming season. General Manager Brian Gutekunst certainly stirred the pot with his choices, and while some positions were addressed, others left fans scratching their heads. What will these picks mean for the team's future? Let's dive into the lessons learned from day 3 of the draft. First up, the Packers made a strategic choice in the 4th round, selecting edge rusher Dani Dennis-Sutton out of Penn State with the 120th overall pick. Initially projected as a 3rd-round talent, this pick offers good value. Dennis-Sutton showcases impressive athleticism, which establishes a strong foundation for his NFL career. His college performance demonstrated consistent improvement, and he possesses a solid ability to play the run along with a range of pass-rushing techniques. However, he does have some limitations, particularly in explosive plays and tackling consistency. Yet, his versatility and eagerness to learn could make him a valuable depth piece for the Packers' edge rushing unit. Plus, his special teams contributions, including blocking 3 punts in his senior year, could provide a spark in an area where the Packers have struggled. Then came the 5th round and a significant move toward bolstering the offensive line with the selection of center Jager Burton from Kentucky. Standing tall at 6 feet 4 inches and weighing 312 pounds, Burton embodies the versatility that the Packers cherish, having experience as both a center and guard. With a solid track record, he didn't allow a single sack during the 2025 season. He seems poised to add depth and flexibility to the interior line. However, concerns linger regarding his strength at the point of attack, and he needs to demonstrate that he can maintain his upward trajectory against NFL-caliber competition. In the Packers' zone blocking scheme, Burton could thrive, especially with the opportunity to learn from Sean Ryan. On the defensive front, Gutekunst's strategy was evident when he traded up in the third round to snag defensive tackle Chris McClellan. This move, which cost the Packers a fifth-round pick, was aimed at securing a player who can effectively stop the run while also applying pressure on opposing quarterbacks, an increasingly crucial skill in today's game. The sixth round saw the Packers make another trade, this time with the Seahawks, to secure kicker Trey Smack from Florida. This decision was noteworthy, as the Packers relinquished both of their seventh-round picks to move up for the kicker many scouts deemed the best available in the draft. Smack's long-range accuracy is particularly appealing, having successfully converted 10 of 13 kicks from 50 yards or beyond. With Brandon McManus struggling in the previous season, Smack could provide the Packers with a much-needed boost in the kicking game. His kickoff stats are impressive too, with opponents returning just 19.7% of his career kickoffs. Yet, despite addressing some critical positions, the Packers' overall approach left some fans concerned. With only one offensive lineman selected, the depth remains precarious, especially considering the injury issues that plagued the team the past season. Darian Kinnard is the only experienced tackle backup, and the interior line's depth is questionable at best with Jacob Monk, who lacks significant experience. The Packers will need to be vigilant, potentially looking at undrafted free agents or post-June 1st additions to shore up this crucial area. The defensive focus was clear, with 4 of the 6 picks dedicated to bolstering that side of the ball, including 2 cornerbacks, a defensive tackle, and the edge rusher, with a new defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, implementing a 3-4 base defense. These selections align well with the new system's requirements. There was speculation about the Packers potentially adding a wide receiver, running back, or tight into the mix, but the recent extension of Jayden Reed has lessened that urgency for now. One glaring takeaway from this draft is the absence of a quarterback selection for the second consecutive year. With Desmond Ridder and Kyle McCord now in the spotlight, the competition will be intense, especially alongside the undrafted free agent quarterback, Kieran Drones from Virginia Tech. While the undrafted free agents are often long shots, history suggests that at least one could make the final roster, which adds an element of hope for the fan base. As we break down these selections, it's essential to gauge the reactions from the Packers faithful. Fans are eager to see how these new faces will integrate into the franchise's storied history and whether Gutekunst's moves will pay off in the coming season. Now, as we shift our focus to the next segment, let's explore how these draft picks might impact the team's dynamics and what's next on the Packers' agenda. The NFL draft has come to a close, and now all eyes are on the Green Bay Packers as we analyze their 2026 draft class. With the dust settling on this pivotal off-season event, fans have plenty to discuss, so feel free to comment on where you're watching from and share your thoughts on the team's latest moves. Held in the vibrant city of Pittsburgh, this year's NFL draft was a resounding success, setting an attendance record with approximately 805,000 people over 3 days. The excitement was palpable, particularly on the first day when a staggering 320,000 fans witnessed the Raiders take Fernando Mendoza with the first overall pick. Kudos to Pittsburgh for hosting such a momentous occasion. Now, let's pivot to the Packers selections. In a draft landscape that many experts deemed to be on the weaker side, 257 players were ultimately selected into the NFL. Yet, the Packers entered with only 8 picks, but came away with just 6. This is noteworthy, marking the fewest players drafted by Green Bay since 2004, a year that also saw them select just 6 players. Last year, General Manager Brian Gutekunst stood pat, making no trades. However, this year, he was more aggressive, trading up in the 3rd round, and again later by packaging 2 7th-round picks to maneuver back into the 6th round. This strategic movement shows a commitment to improving the team. And it's worth noting how the Packers have long been known for their shrewd drafting. Defensively, this draft class appears to be a concerted effort to bolster that side of the ball. Out of the 6 players chosen, 4 were defensive talents, while the remaining 2 picks addressed offensive needs and a special teams contributor. This is a clear indication that the Packers are prioritizing defense, a wise approach given the competitive nature of the NFC North. Gutekunst emphasized during his end-of-draft press conference that his philosophy is to always select the best player available. While one might question whether that strategy truly aligns with the Packers' needs, it's hard to argue against the idea that they effectively addressed most of their perceived deficiencies, except for that glaring absence of a tight end. The tight end position has been a topic of discussion among fans for some time. And while they filled other roles, it leaves one wondering about the future of that position in Green Bay. So, as we dissect the Packers' 2026 NFL draft class, it's clear that the franchise is making moves to ensure they remain competitive in the league. The focus on defense could yield significant dividends, especially if these rookies can contribute early in their careers. As the Packers look to build on this draft and prepare for the upcoming season, it's essential for fans to stay engaged. What do you think about the decisions made in this draft? Are there areas you feel could have been addressed more aggressively? Let's keep the conversation going. Subscribe for the latest updates on the Green Bay Packers and leave your thoughts in the comments. Remember, the journey of the 2026 season is just beginning. And as always, go Pack Go!